Dun, 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 dun. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Educator Calling Snap channel. How you doing? So I want to talk about the muted video or the video without audio I posted. So I have been trying to do the Infinite Conquest and get the Infinite Avatar, and I've been struggling with that. Essentially, I've been getting all the way to the fifth game, and then my brain turns off, and I play that last game pretty badly, and that's happened like 3 times already. So it's a little demoralizing. And that particular video, I just finished a run into the last game and I wasn't able to get the avatar. So I was feeling pretty bad, not very happy, not in a good frame of mind. But I wanted to make a video just talking about those games, the decks I use, just to kind of get it out there, make me feel better, make me talk about it, and really, do it for myself. Just talk about the games. Um, but I was just focused on talking. I wasn't really paying attention to the video or the video quality. I just wanted to get it out there, and I didn't notice that I was muted. So, uh, I woke up the next day essentially just kind of looking back, and I was like, oh, what's with all these comments? I want to say that your guys' comments made me laugh so hard, though. So good job on that. But yeah, I just wasn't really it like wasn't my best video or something or anything like that. I was just kind of not in a good frame of mind. But I wanted to post something and talk about my game, so that's why that happened. The video's still up there. I just didn't really see the need to remove it or anything like that. But I do want to actually tell you like my thoughts about Conquest and stuff like that. So this is more of like a follow-up video. One with audio this time. But yeah, I do wanna talk about it a little bit. So let's begin. So I primarily use 3 decks to try to get the Infinite Conquest. Um, and they've all been okay. I will say like maybe the second one I guess was the most difficult, but they've all been pretty good. This first one was just like standard meta, right? You're going to Infinite Conquest. You don't really want to change it up, and it was like the start of the cycle, so I wasn't really wanting to play anything too crazy. Obviously, you see a lot of high evolutionary. You see a lot of kitty, and then you see like some text to kitty and text to high evolutionary. Even though like high evolutionary doesn't have like the easiest tech, I would say like maybe rocks and Shang-Chi, but it's not like an insta win, right? Like there's no insta win tech, I would say right now. But I just run a kitty deck. Honestly, it's still pretty good, and kitty's still high presence. There have been some changes. Obviously, the Electra. I played it after fighting someone else who used Electra in the mirror matchup, and it was pretty good at killing my Kitty Pride. But generally, there are a lot of 1-drops in the meta, so the Electra actually does a decent amount of work. And you can still play this. Generally, people have been running like the Hood. The Hood has also been a pretty popular addition. It just gives you more late game bombs. Obviously, you still struggle into wave and those type of decks, but generally it still like has a lot of power. And if you know playing against wave, you can try to pop off on turn 5. Obviously, you don't really get to use Kitty Pride to its intended purpose, but it still gives you a lot of value if you hit on Angela and Bishop, etc., etc. So that's definitely something you can do. But obviously, played this, went to 4 or 5 games multiple times, but just couldn't make it out right. And it is a little frustrating. I do want to talk about just the essence of Infinite Conquest. It's not like it's changing next season. I'm pretty sure the avatars are staying around. I would have hoped that they would change things up. Like it's not always an infinite avatar, because the people that have gotten infinite avatars on the things they want don't really care about getting more avatars, right? So there's not that drive to keep to keep grinding it unless you really like the competition, but you're not gonna pay 500 gold or anything like that. So uh, if there was definitely a different reward every month or every season, I would definitely be more inclined to like push harder. And I did play a lot of Infinite, but it's something you want to do because you enjoy the game. You like the competition, you like the fun, and that's the real importance. Because yes, getting the avatar is fun and all, but like next season's the same, right? So it's not like it's not end of the day you can't get the avatar. You will eventually get it if you keep pushing. So it's just something to keep in mind, right? Like as long as you're having fun enjoying the game, that's really what matters. Don't stress. Don't put too much weight on it. That's something I have an issue with, right? I'm primarily a competitive player. I just decided to focus more on teaching people and making content instead of like focusing on being the best. But like end of the day, I'm still like I still have that drive. So when I'm trying to play Infinite, I'm trying to win and do my best, even though I've faltered a couple of times. But generally, I still think this list is pretty good. And if you like kitty decks, like it's pretty good. The next list I played was something I got from Paper. I would say the streamer, the content creator. This was his Doctor Octopus Ghost Spider deck. So it kind of relies on using a little bit of move engines, but really focusing on the power of that Doctor Octopus can just mess with people, and then you either have options to like Ghost Spider it to a different lane, or you can Shang-Chi, or you can Shadow King, etc. It's a pretty cool control deck, and I liked it because it has like the Darkhawk core, which I'm a big fan of. Right, it's one of my favorite cores to put in a deck. So I tried it out. It was decent. I would say it was definitely harder to pilot than any of the other decks I've played, but it did have some success. I would say like even though Doc Ock had some good moments, there are also some moments where it can't really save you in that you play it down and they hit like a Doctor Doom. Now they're getting free value in the other lanes while also winning that particular lane as well. Also, everyone's running Shang-Chi, so it's very common for you to play Doctor Octopus, and then they have a Shang-Chi, so you lose your value. Plus, they have like 4 minions on the board, so it's very hard to contest that lane as well. So there is some downsides to this Octopus that made it a little bit hard. But I really did like the Shadow King tech. I thought that was really good into a lot of matchups. There's actually a lot of minions that buff themselves or high evolutionary negative buffs. Shadow King does actually do quite a bit of work into those matchups. So even though I didn't like particularly overall love the deck, I thought it's decent. It's also a good deck if you're trying to complete the Ghost Spider mission. Actually, that does remind me about the Ghost Spider missions. I'm not actually sure if this is like super duper intentional, right? But they do have season pass as the reward instead of credits, and I'm hoping this is like something they change because obviously they're in a break right now, so I can't really like ask them what their philosophy is behind this change. So I'm gonna wait until like they come back and then see. But like it's definitely a weird thing to add season pass because weekend missions are for people that are playing a lot, right? Like it was because people already complete all this weekend challenge, and then they don't have anything else to do. That's why they added the weekend missions. So most people that are like that want to do the weekend challenge, play 20, win 20 matches, already are here, right? They already have these season passes. So you're getting 1,500, right? You open this. All right, you're not always okay. Damn. All right, let's re-record the video. No, I'm kidding. All right, take two. You open this. Man, the one time they're trolling me, dude. All right, now, well, I can't make my point anymore. Oh my god. All right. Well, I can't make my point anymore. All right. Well, never mind. Maybe they're onto something. All right. Come on, Gabe. What are you doing? Okay. A lot of times, oh my god, people are gonna open these caches and they're gonna get 15 boosters, 10 boosters, right? Like it doesn't really feel like a good reward. Now, I'm not even going to this, but regardless, like it's something I want to wait for them to come back before I really like talk about this in a particular video. I just thought it's weird to add this in essentially, but anyways, let's move on to some of the last deck I used after this one, right? So this one is okay. I really like the Shadow King tech. I thought it was a really good addition from Paper's deck list. The rest of it is all pretty like standard except for the Doctor Octopus into Ghost Spider combo. So finally, the third deck that I built kind of using a little bit of that base was this Dino Darkhawk deck with a Shadow King tech. Really liked how it performed in that last deck, so I decided to build into it a little bit. And I just like the addition of Nick Fury with the Dino. It just gives you, if you have the Zabu, the ability to go double three. So you could do something like Shadow King, Nick Fury last turn to like fill your hand and deal some damage, and then you have a lot of control tools with the Cosmo. Cosmo, I just think has a lot of good tech as well. It can provide safety for your Dino, and it's just generally a good tech card if people don't expect it. So I've been playing with the Cosmo. I've been liking it. There's no Korg. Just think it's sometimes not as relevant, but I do like the Spider Ham. Right, this lets you get some reads. It gives you some power, messes with your opponent's compositions, and the rest of these are just nice little tech tools. Jeff, of course, just gives you a lot. I've definitely been seeing less of uh, lockdown, less of control with the Doctor Doom nerf, so it's not as prevalent that you need Jeff, but still a decent card. So I still like adding it in. So generally, this is the current deck I'm running, and I've had a lot of good success with it. Went to the final round multiple times, but well, I went to it once with this list, and the other time I think I was like in the fourth game when I lost. So it's not it hasn't won yet, right? None of my decks have won, but I do think this is pretty good, pretty strong, and I like what it does. I like the options. So this is like my current favorite build. Maybe I'll release some of the gameplay because I literally was in like the last turn, last match, and I just played the wrong card, and that's why I lost. It was like, but generally, we'll keep trying, we'll keep pushing. But this is the current list I am using, and I do like this deck, and it's not a deck I've seen before, so maybe I'll talk about it. But that was my last video that was muted, just kind of talking about the decks I was using, why I like them. And I also talked a little bit about the meta. The meta is still the same. We're really going to see what happens in the new patch, but it's still pretty high evolutionary focus with some Kitty Pride decks. And some things you want to is like, you want to have the Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's in almost everything, and then some answers to flood, whether that's Killmonger, whether that's Wave. You want to have a way to deal with people flooding you. So there's definitely been some thoughts about that. I would say like there isn't like super big issues into the matchups. I guess the only thing I can't really deal with is like a full ongoing deck, right? Because this doesn't hit ongoings, and a lot of times this doesn't matter in the ongoing matchup. But there's still a lot of control tools, right? Like you can still Cosmo and Killmonger and stuff like that. So it's not too bad. But generally, I've been liking this deck, and that's really the deck I want to talk about. But that was essentially my muted video, maybe a little bit shorter since I've thought about it already. But I was just feeling sad that day after not completing the conquest. I definitely feel better now. It's days have passed. Um, but we'll keep trying and we'll keep doing our best. So, nothing more to say than that. But hope you guys enjoy it. Take care of yourselves. Don't stress too much about the game mode, right? Like there's gonna be time, there's gonna be next month, next week's, all that kind of stuff to keep pushing. So just do what you can, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna make sure that there's audio here.
Educated Colin Snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to marvel snap. Your skills will be